marijuana. And that no one can condemn what God has made and given his people to use. And for those who do not know the usage of this plant, very soon a book will be coming out in about 3 weeks that explains the origin, the basics, the networks, the potential, the properties of marijuana. Next is the second strand, which is called cannabis sativa L, otherwise known as hemp. While cannabis indica forma is specifically medicinal, hemp or cannabis indica L, cannabis sativa L, is specifically the industrial variant. It has a very low level of THC, about 3% and below, and does not get anyone high. Mainly, many people do not know that all the paper currency, all the notes in the world are made from marijuana paper by a pen. Everybody carrying a note, if you have money in your pocket, you are carrying proof of the efficacy and the economic benefit of marijuana. If you have money in your pocket, you have a sample of what marijuana can do for our economy. Number two, many people do not know that in all the ports across the world, all the twine that is used to anchor the biggest ships in the world are made from hemp fiber. It is also my pleasure to inform you that all military uniforms across the world, including the chandaruas, the tarpaulin, are made from hemp fiber. Third, it is also my wish to inform you that clothing material made from hemp is about 70 times stronger than that made from cotton and cheaper to produce. Next, I'm also happy to inform you that hemp can produce fertilizer for our farms. It can produce chicken and cow feed for our agriculture. And in the growth of these plants, you do not need fungicide, you do not need herbicides, you do not need pesticides. It just grows and heals the soil as well. So in other words, we have a plant that stands on two main legs, the medicinal and the industrial. The third variant of marijuana is called cannabis ruderalis. That is hardly found in these regions. It's the pygmy of the marijuana plant, mainly found in the colder south areas of Russia. But that is normally considered, it doesn't have many properties in it that we can talk about. And for many people who may not know, liberation comes in packages that may not necessarily be sweet, just like medicine. If I am sick today, I will be given malaria cream. Not because it is sweet, but because it will heal me. It will make me healthy. And on that note, I wish to appeal to our party leadership to take charge and lead and help us push for the legalization of marijuana, not just as an economic revolution, but also as a spiritual passage to all those who use marijuana. that we're looking forward to a violent election. And that has been the case. And when there has been violence, it has been accused of those who smoke marijuana. Not true. That's a lie. For anybody, I went round with the party leadership through Western Kenya, through Kisumu, into every slum where I was born in Nyalenda, Obunga, Kondele Market. Not a single stone, not a single insult, no pleas for money, just peace and one love. Just peace and one love. So I speak to a constituency that has been sat on, that has been shut on, that has been spat on, but one that has stayed resilient to their call for a better nation, a healthier nation, and a wealthier nation. And in that regard, I wish to appeal to all my brothers and sisters across the country that maybe the time to make a change is now. If there is any doctor or teacher or pupil who believes in a greater future and a better future where everybody has an equal chance to have money in their pocket because they own a half an acre, that time is now. If there is any soldier or policeman in this room who is driven by the spirit of nationalism and who would love to wear uniforms that will last for 20 years or 20 years, grown in a military farm or grown locally to make our uniforms locally, and in the ideal of pursuit of self-sufficiency, then that time is now. I appeal to every woman across the land who is aware that marijuana can provide marijuana oil for us to smear on our bodies and not Vaseline petroleum, because petroleum is for vehicles and machines. Anybody who requires organic medicine and organic oil, then that time of liberation is now. I appeal to our political leadership who have promised us emancipation from poverty, who have given glorious promises which they have not fulfilled. If they're truly and in their hearts convinced that they love this country as a shared space, where there is space for those who use and those who don't use, where there is space for those who believe in what we believe and those who do not believe, then their time to make a change is now. I stand here with a lot of pride to be part of a party and part of a team that has chosen a way that today is being seen as progressive universally, but that yesterday was seen as backward and retrogressive. I appreciate you, my brothers and sisters, with all the love that I can. I appreciate you for your resilience, because many people say that the Rasta man did not have a voice, and I said that let's give the Rasta man his voice once again. Now is the time, my brothers, now is the time, my sisters, to appreciate that God is the sole provider of all crops and plants. And it is Him who gave us this beautiful plant, which we all know what can do. By the time it gets to a stage where one presidential candidate has called himself Buffalo Soldier, another one has said he's a reggae man, and the third presidential candidate who we are here to support has come out and said that I will legalize. Surely there must be something special about this plant. If there was nothing special about this plant, not every candidate would have wished to associate with this thing. My brothers and sisters, who would have thought that one day in Kenya, the political future and fate of the nation would lie in the hands of the marijuana constituency? Who would have ever thought that we would get to a stage where we would be looking forward to the marijuana constituency as the way forward? It is a true revolution. So I appeal to you, all those who know that the time to legalize marijuana is here, I ask you to vote for Professor Wajackoyah and I urge you, all those who know that it is time for peace and healing, to vote for change through Professor George Wajackoyah and Christina Omai. I appeal to you to lead the way forward, for God has blessed you to be called here today to lead this revolution, a green revolution, a revolution that shall be filled with smoke, not of burning, but smoke of love and smoke of unity. I appeal to your greater sense of discipline, that in doing everything we do, and as long as I have done it since I started, I have tried to walk and talk through the narrow path of the law, even though it has been difficult. We have no reason to fight with our brothers and sisters. We have no reason to live in confrontation with the security agencies over marijuana, but we have reason, as those who know what lies in this plant, to be messengers of God, to be messengers of light, to go and speak to those who do not know, to teach them that the day or the time has come for those who are behind to come to the front, those who are down to be lifted up, those who are forgotten to be remembered, and those who knew no love to be loved. For the time is now. I appeal to you, my brothers and sisters, that as this continues, I am sure each one of you should lead himself or herself in planning for this bright future that beholds after the legalization of marijuana. I'm sure you're aware, 250 acres of marijuana produces $5.1 billion per year. It is considered the world's most profitable cash, food, industrial, and spiritual crop. From the roots of marijuana, we will make ointment for our knees and our pains. From the stalks of marijuana, we will make yarn and paper for our books. From the buds of marijuana, we will make marijuana oil to fuel our industry. From the buds of marijuana, we will make marijuana oil to smear and smoothen our bodies. From the buds of marijuana, we will make cooking fat to cook our food. In short, what I'm saying, if we legalize marijuana, the prices of food shall go down. The prices of oil shall go down. The cost of education shall go down. The cost of living shall go down. But this will only be possible if we vote in Professor George Wajackoyah and his government I leave you with one message. There is a destination which we set out to reach, and which we have not reached. I am asking you that on August 9th, let each and every Kenyan everywhere agree in their hearts that we shall vote for George Wajackoyah and Christina Wamai so overwhelmingly that there will be no chance for anybody to tamper or steal the vote, because everybody will have come out to vote for the two candidates who will liberate this country from the talons of poverty, the talons of pain, the talons of backwardness, and to catapult them to a brighter future, that they shall be able to fulfill their dreams as fathers and mothers, that courtesy of marijuana shall go home, and you shall be able to provide clothing for your children, money for your children, and food for your children. Everything that I have told you, I have told you in the name of God Almighty, and may God Almighty bless you so much, each of you, and when you go home, go and spread the message of love. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Wapi kelele ya Dr. Ogoth kwenda? Unajua, with the permission of the faith, the reason why we brought an expert is to explain what our economic model is to explain the message we are preaching. Unajua, watu wengine wanazunguka, wao wanasema nikiingia tutaweka, sijui tutatoa hii pesa. Hakuna mtu amesema mahali atatoa. Ndio hiyo mabilioni wanasema watawekea sijui akina nani. Kuna mtu anasema mahali atatoka. So only Professor Wajackoyah will say the money will come from so ndio hiyo pesa. Kabla tuendelee, tuchezee na ngoma kidogo. Then I will invite Charlie to come and perform a song, and then the gravity band to take over, and then we'll continue with our program. Thank you.
Kata sim, tuko sawa.
Roots party. When I say professor, you say Wajackoyah. Professor Wajackoyah, eh? Wajackoyah, eh? So ladies and gents, right now, I want to introduce the baddest band in Kenya right now, the Gravity Band, right in the building. Yeah man, alongside the man like John Lyric. This one's a brand new tune. Yeah man, this one is called Roots Party. Backed by the Gravity Band. Introducing to you, Nairobi, Kenya. Make some noise for this man's called John Lyric.
This man Wajackoyah, this man a professor, some call him the doctor, we call him the liberator, we also call him His Excellency the Fifth, Mr. President in waiting, Dr. Wajackoyah stepped into the city, Babylon the ground in hiding, Rootsman Party, yes, Rootsman
This is
The baddest man in the gravity band. Over to you, Jemo.
Unajua wakituona tukikula sherehe kwa manifesto yetu wanasema sisi ni waraudi, na sisi tunajua zile vitu wanafanya behind the scene wakishatuibia pesa yetu, si ndio? So sisi tunapiga sherehe publicly, si ndio? Because ni manifesto ya the fifth, si ndio? Wapi ngumi ya Wajackoyah? Si ndio? Sawa kiasi. It's a great day. It's a great day for Kenya. It's a great day for Kenya because today we are going to liberate our country. The vision we are going to unveil here will shock many. Unajua wanafikiria tu ni mambo ya bangi. Tuko na mambo ingine ya kuhang wale wanatuibianga pesa alafu wanatuletea. Kwa sababu tunasema kama unaiba pesa ya hospitali mtu anakufa alive for a life, si ndio? Kama unaiba pesa ya barabara watu wanakufa kwa ajali za barabara sababu ulitengeneza barabara mbaya, alive for a life, si ndio? And very soon Professor Wajackoyah and Justina will be taking us through our visionary manifesto that will take Kenya to the next level. At this point I want to call our party operations director, Mr. Alex Kanyi, to come and speak a few words, alafu tuendelee na programu yetu. Thank you so much. Alex.
Kenya oi! Rastaman oi! Taongea machache. As Jemo amesema, Mutembei Kani Kimani, and that role he have said that is my Lord. Tumefurahi sana wa Kenya, and I'm very happy to see Rastaman allowed. Anatuandalia our campaigns. Rastaman ndiye anatutafutia kura. Rastaman oi! Shukuru sana.
You know, our party manifesto is very clear. Money not for the few, money for all. Resources for all. Prosperity and progressiveness for all. Nataka because our party really supports talent development in this country as a key pillar of economic development. Nataka kuita kijana mmoja wa mtaa anaitwa Bancho ambaye ametengeneza ngoma moja kali sana for Professor Wajackoyah and Justina Wama. Bancho.
Yeah. Wajackoyah bwana, mimi naitwa Bancho. Nimetokea Mombasa Likoni, au sio? Nimekuja kusupport Wajackoyah bwana. Sikia. Mimi nasema hivi. Wajackoyah si tunakupenda. Wewe nijibu. Mafisadi usisahau kunyonga, au sio? Wajackoyah si tunakupenda. Mafisadi usisahau kunyonga. Wajackoyah si tunakupenda. Mafisadi usisahau kunyonga. Bwana mama Justina na mheshimiwa, naomba mkuje hivi kidogo, au sio? Naomba kidogo tujibambe pamoja, au sio? Amen. Justina Sikia kidogo bro. Sikia kidogo. Nikisema kitu niambie haiwezekani, au sio? Haiwezekani eti mkono ni washe nitaikamata milioni zimebaki siku chache. Haiwezekani yule demo niache mimi nimemonga paka foni na sijonja tamate. Haiwezekani pande ya kukamate. Akuachie na simpe chochote. Squeeze mapenzi bila ya do. Sawa na ugali upike kwa choo. Bwana, wako mheshimiwa twende.
Na watoto hawana karo, usiangalie na masharubaro.
Yo, uoga kabisa, unashikanishwa. Tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa, tikisa baba, tikisa, tikisa mama, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa. Bwana mtikisi bwana. Jakoya Jasina Jakoya bwana kuja kati. Twende nijeze makufu baby. Itumi asiye jebole se mkono wote hivi. Twende kama una shati. Twende na masharubaro. Na watoto hawana karo, usidanganye na masharubaro. Masharubaro, usidanganye Mutembei watasita. Uongo kabisa, unashikanishwa. Tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, 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 Jakoya baba, tikisa, Jasina mama, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, Jakoya, tikisa, Jakoya Wajackoyah. Jasina Jasina Mashaka tunaendelea. Tukuje tupate mamilioni. Tunataka kutamka sawa. Kama yanaenda hospitali. Wachina tulipewa leni. Wasitokee maendeleo mengi. Wajackoyah sisi tunakupenda. Mafisadi sisi kunyonga. Siku ni kuni kwa kazi. Baada ya sherehe na wazazi. Najua tutafanya sisi. Na nitaka tutafanya hivi. Tumuze tupate mamilioni. Twende, esia kwa basi bro, sianze mwanzo. Twende tukai sana. Mheshimiwa wasiboeke, Mheshimiwa Wajackoyah bwana tunakupenda sana. Wapigeni Wajackoyah wazee. Uongo kabisa, unashikanishwa. Tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa, Jakoya baba, tikisa, Jasina mama, tikisa, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa, tikisa. Wajackoyah, Jasina, Jasina, mashamba tupate maganja, tumuze tupate mamilioni, maisha tutapita sawa. Na dawa zile hospitali, wachina kwa nipe madeni, wasikobeni wapewe madeni. Wajackoyah siku nakupenda, mafisadi sisao kunyonga. Siku nimeko kazi, baada ya sherehe na wazazi. Nachoka na kuona chizi, na vijana tunataka hivi. Mwezi wa 8 tarehe 9 ni wewe na Jasina. Kupitisha na kupitisha kwa Jasina. Wajackoyah, Jasina, Jasina, Wajackoyah, Jasina, Jasina, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, 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 Jakoya baba, tikisa, Jasina mama, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa, tikisa muti, tikisa.
Yeah man. They call me Hassan Wandro. Yeah man.
Thank you so much. Tumesema leo ni pure entertainment as we unveil the vision of our country. And nataka kidogo tumuite Shamiro. Shamiro ni msanii mkali sana wa reggae nchi hii ambaye amekuwa akieleza information about how we should move forward as a country. Shamiro, karibu sana. Karibu sana, karibu sana.
Niaje utaongwa nguvu? Niaje? Niaje? Siwasikii niaje? Uko vipi? Nataka msikie mmoja, sawa? Mwimbe na mimi, sawa? I say to all of my jiggers and my MCs, hands in the air if you love me and if you can't show you one. I say you're not in my category. Say me no want no cheating man boy. I say if you're fighting man, you can't stay on ya. I tell you me no want no cheating man boy. I tell you if you, hey, yo, big up Wajackoyah. And to go over if we represent for the youths. We have to legalize it. How VP? I mean, say playing reggae music is a must. And giving love to the girl, them is a must. Playing reggae music is a must. And giving love to the girl, them is a must. Promoting peace and love is a must. It's a must, it's a must, it's a must. Money don't Babylon is a must. I trust you from his village is a must. And he said you is a must. It's a must, it's a must. Skiza. I mean to me him a Rasta. Now me not been a Wajackoyah. And I won't wave up from this world that I'm on. Preaching the gospel of love. It is my only occupation. And you can go to jail if you think that will stop. And this is the music is a must. Giving love to the garden is a must. Promoting peace and love is a must. It's a must, it's a must, it's a must. Money down Babylon is a must. I just you for the plate is a must. Lighting up my love is a must. It's a must, it's a must, it's a must, yeah. So string up the sound and play reggae music louder. Oh, this is the message I end up sitting down, yeah. Hear them calling, yeah. I don't you know. You know this is time to let the good vibes flow. I be saying reggae music is a must. Giving love to the garden is a must. Promoting peace and love is a must. Yeah. I be saying na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. When I wanna be this hard. I be saying oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. I miss the beat, but I'm alive and thank you, Jaja. You stood by me, even when I didn't deserve your loving, yeah. And your darling, like when you got up against the line. I say your love so round, from my head to my toe, I'm fully easy. Aye. I be say aye. I tell you I'm grateful, oh Jaja, I'm grateful. I be say aye. I be say aye. I tell you I'm grateful. I tell you I'm grateful. I be say oh God, you bless me. You bless me. Oh God, you bless me. And they can see all the goodness you bring. Oh God, you bless me. You bless me. Oh God, you bless me. And they can see. Let me say yeah. Say yeah. If you love reggae music, say Ira. Say Ira. Oh, big up yourself. Yeah. Come on, wake up, my baby. Sit here. How you doing? So come on, girls. Listen to this now, yeah. Listen. So like a fire that burns in my soul, you took over that wheel. Skiza, come let me get the song now. I said Wajackoyah is on. Yeah. Come on. Wajackoyah is on fire. Oh. So come on, girls, yeah. Listen to this now, yeah. So like a fire that burns in my soul, you took over now, you got full control. And I want this to grow more and more, yeah. And like a river that flows, my eyes should show. sugar that won't take you home. Now you inside my mind, I can't deny. You took me by surprise. I never took to realize this special man that was standing beside. Well, can't you see this truth in my eyes? I fell for your stars. Say, Wajackoyah on fire, yeah, on fire. Cause I'm on my inside. Wajackoyah on fire, yeah, on fire. You gave it to me, Wajackoyah on fire. Oh, pick it up. I say one love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. I want you to sing now, one love. See what's key? One heart, I say let's get together and feel alright. I give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. I give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Give thanks, respect, one love.
We know you are the street king and we respect that. Nataka niite ma-MCA watu, tuko na ma-MCA wanasimama. Wakuje hapa waongee na sisi dakika moja, watuambie vision ikoaje pale mashinani, watuambie mambo inaendeleaje pale mashinani. Kumbuka tutanyonga waafisa. Wanyonge wasinyongwe. Wanyonge wasinyongwe. Haya, ma-MCA wetu tafadhali. Kujeni muongee na watu, mseme venye tunaendeleza mambo ya chama yetu. Wanyongwe. Haya. These are MCAs. Unaona sisi hata tuko na muhindi. Wahindi pia waseme mambo yao, waingie kwa county assembly, wafunze watu mambo ya biashara yetu ya bangi, watutafutie soko huko India. Sindio? Si mnajua India is the biggest pharmaceutical country in the world. Na ile hemp mingi tutapeleka wapi? Ndio maana unatuona tuko na Wahindi hapa, sindio? My friend, introduce yourself na uongee na watu kidogo, 2 minutes, alafu tusonge. Asante.
Wajackoyah fire! Wajackoyah moto!
Kwa majina naitwa Wanyama. Kwa karibu na ile ya Wajackoyah. Wanyama. I'm an aspirant in Rwai. Kasarani constituency. Watu wote wa Nairobi ambao mko hapa, ningependa kuwaomba kazi ya marketing of our party is very simple. Sio kama huko kwingine unaweza pigwa. Huku kwetu very simple, meet the people, ongea nao, wanataka pesa, hao watu wote wanataka do. So the moment you meet the people, watakuwa wanataka do. Na you tell them professor ako na formation, na sisi ambao tuko nyuma yake, mambo si rahisi. Mambo ni tunapigana huku kwingine, hao jamaa wamejihami, lakini tunaomba nyinyi mahali mko, kumbuka Roots Party even in your prayers, kumbuka Roots Party, kumbuka kuna wasee hapa tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 tukipatana hapa nje kwa Kanjo, uniambie umekaziwa parking, I'll give you my parking hapo ndani ya county hapo. Nashukuru sana, tunapigia Wajackoyah, tuingiza mti. Roots Party fire. Mimi, I'm a telecommunications engineer. I've been working on the Safaricom network for the past 12 years. I'm responsible for the Nairobi East network. Tukisema Nairobi East network pande ya Safaricom, tunasema venye Thika Road imekata kutoka Thika hivyo, ikikuja iende ingie Ngong Road hivi hadi Ngong pande hii, pande ya East. That is what I've been managing for the past 12 years. Na I'm very sure there is no complaint ya mtu hajakuwa na network. Kama unatoka Nairobi, if there is a complaint about network, niko hapa, niko very sure I will escalate mahali penye kunafaa. Otherwise, pick up my good people. Tuko pamoja.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today for the launch of our manifesto for Uhuru Party of Kenya. My name is Arjun Chauhan. I'm running for MCA Parklands Irish. If we have people registered in Western's constituency, please don't forget to vote for me. And my party leader, my father figure, Professor George Wajackoyah, and in a short while, we are going to show you our manifesto. It's for our nation. All I'll say is please vote wisely and peacefully. Na msisahau kutigiza miti. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Amjambo wa Kenya. Wajackoyah oye. Majina yangu naitwa Jonathan Bet, natoka Kitale Cherangani. Mimi nasimama katika chama cha UDP. Lakini mkurugenzi mkuu ni Wajackoyah oye. Mimi naomba kwamba iwapo Wajackoyah atakuwa president, na ninatumai atakuwa president, mimi nitakuwa waziri wa ukulima. Hili nipande bangi, hili place mahindi kwa
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jambo. My name is Naran Arjan, and I'm vying for Mugomoini Langata. Neguo? Ingiza miti? We have a vision, and I'm so proud with our party leader, Wajackoyah and Christina. We will make it. This is the vision we have, and it's the future for Kenya. Thank you.
Umeona ground iko? Sasa nataka jamaa mwingine hapa tuongeleshe, alafu ndio tuendelee.
Roots Party oye! Wajackoyah oye! Kenyans, I want you to listen to me. Kwa majina naitwa Rogers Okumu Barasa. I come from Western, and if we let Professor Wajackoyah today, mimi ndio naenda kuwa MCA wa chama cha Roots Party wa the incoming president, the 5th president, Professor Wajackoyah. Professor Wajackoyah comes from my ward. Ni Mungu sio Mungu. Si ni kweli? I want to tell you this, my fellow Kenyans. The health, as we speak, the health sector is down. The economy is dying. Security is dead. And as I speak to my fellow Kenyans today, I want you guys to elect a visionary leader. I want you guys to elect a leader who is going to do and work on actions. And that leader is none other than Professor Wajackoyah. I want also you guys to listen to me as we unveil our manifesto. If you look at the gentleman seated there, Professor, you look at the strong woman that Roots Party has managed to take over as the running mate. Are they not worth the leaders Kenyans want? Lastly, my brothers, Roots Party, William Natuona, has educated leaders. Umeona mtu hapa mwenye anavuta bangi. We guys are saying We need bangi as medicinal value. We need marijuana to improve the economy of this country. I won't say much, my brothers, but I want to urge you, my fellow youth, that come 9 August 2022, which is only around 30-40 days to come, please do us a honor as we celebrate the liberation of this country. Freedom is coming. Thank you, my brothers.
Sisi tunasema freedom is bangi. Freedom is what? Bangi. I want to call youth leader from Mandera, jamaa anaitwa Eden, ambaye ana represent Waislamu. Waislamu pia wako kwa Roots Party wengi sana. Eden. Uje uongee na watu kidogo.
Wajackoyah oye! Mimi naitwa Adan and I'm from Mandera. Mimi niko hapa ku represent Waislamu na Wasomali community at large. Sasa I'm part of the officials ya Roots Party of Kenya. Leo it is kwa schedule yetu pia ni we have to lazima tuuze sera yetu pia. Kwanza leo ni siku ya furaha. Ile tsunami inatendeka hapa, it is felt from Nairobi to Kingston in Jamaica. Kwanza kuambia some few points about Professor Wajackoyah. Kuna watu wenye walikuwa wanasema Wajackoyah hakuwa anajulikana na he is a project or whatever. So Wajackoyah kuna watu wengi kama rafiki yangu anaitwa Nchoka kwa hapa na mimi mwenyewe we are sponsored to go to universities. Sasa mtu wanyonge kama mimi sasa ndio tunarecognize Wajackoyah. Si lazima Wajackoyah ajulikane na state watu wenye wako kwa watu wenye wanajiita mahaslas na sijui majina zingine. So kama wanyonge wanaweza recognize Wajackoyah, si lazima wengine wajue Wajackoyah ni nani. Si ndio? Sasa sisi ndio wenye wanapiga kura na sisi ndio tutaamua. Si ni namna hiyo? Kitu ya pili, kuna maulamas na watu wa kanisa wenye walikuwa wanasema bangi ni mbaya. Okay, sisi tunatarajia wakuje watuambie okay, hii kitu kama mna legalize, si lazima tusikize watu wenye wanasema maheta, si ndio? Sisi tunajua hii kitu ni legalize. Si ndio? Sasa hata sisi tulikuwa tunaona kwa media watu wanasema hii kitu ni mzuri, hata mtu fulani akiingia tutalegalize. Ni kama tu wanaimba idea yetu, si ndio? Sasa sisi tunasema hiyo ni idea ya Roots Party of Kenya na Wajackoyah, si ndio? Sasa kama walikuwa wanaogopa mbeleni, sisi tunauza sera yetu. Kitu ya pili walisema snake ni kitu mbaya, ama walikuwa wanaona kama ni that famine of lili inajulikana countrywide, I mean worldwide. Just to touch on a point on the cost of snakes, cobra's venom ina cost around 153 per gallon dollars, that is in dollars. Sasa ikikuja kwa pesa yetu after 3 months ama 4 months tumelipa pesa ya China. Sio? Wanakataa wanasema bank haina pesa. Wanasema bank haina pesa. Na tumewaonyesha list yenye inaonyesha prices ya bank kama countries zenye wananunuanga na ngapi. Sasa in 1 year time hiyo pesa yote yenye tunadaiwa tunamaliza, si ndio? So Kenya literally itakuwa country kubwa yenye watu wanakuja wafanye farming hapa. Pharmaceutical companies watakuja hapa wajue sasa wenye tunafanya farming, wakuje wachukue wenye wata extract hiyo sumu na bangi, ndio waende watengeneze dawa wakuje watutibu, si ndio? Sasa mimi nawaambia okay, kitu kingine watu wasiseme hakuna inclusivity kwa Roots Party of Kenya. Mumeona tuko na Warasta, tuko na Waislamu, tuko na Wakristo, tuko na Wahindi na tuko na kila mtu, si ndio? In terms of inclusivity, Roots Party ndio number 1. Si ndio? Umewahi sikia mtu akitaja tribe ya Wajackoyah? Tunasema mtu fulani ni Mjaluo, mtu fulani ni Mluya. Wajackoyah is the only presidential candidate mwenye anawaleta Wakenya pamoja, si ndio? Kuanzia dini, kuanzia mgonjwa, watu wazuri na wabaya wote, yeye ndiye ametuleta pamoja, ndio tukakuwa one person, si ndio? Lazima tuitishe Wajackoyah. Freedom is coming. Asante.
Roots Party is the only party which has genuinely recognized young people in this country and given a chance to lead this country. Nataka niite viongozi wa Warasta. Iko na viongozi wa Warasta hapa. They come and say a few words. Alafu ndio tuendelee, ndio? Na Warasta wakijipanga, I want to call our SG, our Secretary General, to come and recognize a few members of our party. But before even I continue, I want to recognize Max, who is the PA. I want to recognize Brian and Edu, who is our communication director.
Thank you Jemo. Kabla tuendelee na program, just a small recognition for a movement and an individual who has been supporting us throughout this journey. The Free Kenya movement, if you have heard, has been an integral part of the Roots Party, and they have supported us and are now willing to move forward with us on this journey towards the general election on the 9th of August. On that note, can I please request for 1 or 2 minutes Honorable Bob Jage, the chairman of the Free Kenya movement, to come and give us some words of encouragement going forward. Bob Jage, please.
Roots Party, tingiza mti. Roots Party, Roots Party, Roots Party. Hi, Rastaman. My name is Bob Jage. I'm the chairperson of the Free Kenya movement. Free Kenya movement is a coalition of independent candidates countrywide. And so far, we have a number of members of the county assembly. We have members of parliament. We have governors, senators, women reps under the Free Kenya movement. Ile kitu ambayo sisi kama vuguvugu la Kenya Huru hatujapata ni rais. Manake hakuna independent candidate alipita kuwa rais. Lakini hapa leo tumekuja kama vuguvugu ya Kenya Huru ambaye tunasema kama wagombea viti huru. Siku ya leo sisi tuko tayari kufanya kazi na Roots Party of Kenya, RPK. Na tayari tulianzisha safari hii mwaka 2018 ambapo tulianzisha mchakato wa referendum ambayo inaitwa Free Kenya Popular Initiative. Vile unatuona hapa hivi, tuko viongozi mbalimbali kutoka Kenya taifa nzima, na ningependa kuwa introduce wenzangu ambao nimekuja nao hapa leo, nikianza na katibu mkuu wa vuguvugu la Kenya Huru, anaitwa Nicholas Oyo, makofi kwake. Tuko na treasurer wetu mweka hazina, wanamlialia hukumu, makofi kwake. Tuko na MCA Madam Harriet, tafadhali njoo. Madam Harriet ambayo ni member wetu, ni MCA wa Kitengela Ward, Olosirikon Chalunge Ward. Pia tuko na MCA kutoka Nandi County, ametoka ward inaitwa Maraba Kimeloi Ward, anaitwa Rasta mwenzetu wako hapa Rasta. Not forgetting our wakili wetu ambaye ametuwakilisha kotini. Tuko na kesi ambayo tunaendelea nayo kwa High Court. Tumeshtaki IBC kwa sababu waliweka sheria kali sana ya kulazimisha wagombea viti huru wapatiane photocopy ya IDs. Kwa hivyo kupitia wakili wetu Karani ambaye pia ni member wa Roots Party of Kenya na ni mgombea kiti wa ubunge. Ningependa salimiane pia.
Rastaman abuo. Rastaman abuo. Freedom ni nini? Bang. Freedom is bangi.
Asante. Bila kuzidisha zaidi, manake siku leo ni siku ya RPK. Kwanza ningependa kutoa salamu yetu nikisema weka ngumi moja kwa mkono, ngumi ya left hand. Nikisema people power, higher power. People power, higher power. People power, higher power. People power, higher power. Higher power, people power. Higher power, people power. Nikisema free Kenya, unasema everywhere. Free Kenya, everywhere. Everywhere, free Kenya. Yeah, so today we are here as a testament that we have a new liberation that is coming. We have a change that is coming. Tuko hapa manake tunaona ile sera ambaye rais mtarajiwa Professor George Luchiri Wajackoyah ako nayo, ni sera ambayo itaenda kusaidia kila mmoja wetu, kuanzia watoto, watu wazima na hata wazee. Manake tuko na haja ya kutoa mbinu ambazo zitaleta tofauti katika maisha yetu, au sio? Wale wengine wanapeana ahadi. Tumesikia ahadi nyingi ambazo zinapeanwa. Tunaambiwa kuna uchumi ambaye itaziduliwa kutoka chini kwenda juu, lakini sijui ni uchumi gani hii. Manake tunataka viongozi wanatupatia suluhisho ambaye tunaona na tunajua. Wangapi wanasema legalize it? Legalize it. Legalize marijuana. Legalize marijuana. Free marijuana. Asanteni, na tungependa kuongea zaidi, lakini naomba rais mtarajiwa, tungependa kuwa na kongamano ya wagombea viti huru wote hapa Kenya, tukutane na rais mtarajiwa ili tuweze kushikana naye hadi siku ya mwisho kwa debe, au sio? Wangapi wanasema tuungane Free Kenya na RPK? Nione kwa mkono. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki na tuko pamoja. Thank you.
Sasa tunataka pia warasta. Roots Party is a party for all. It's a party for all religions. It's a party for all young people, old, kila mtu, irrespective of their class or religious orientation. Nataka warasta waongee, iko groups mingi. Unajua warasta wako na mambo mingi yao. Leo watatuambia ukuje uongee, alafu ndio tupatie hii group hapa ambao ni kama watatupeleka kwa meditation. Thank you.
Wajackoyah. Wajackoyah. Kwa majina naitwa Madenge Mupungi, Kenya First Rastafari Advocate. I'm also the spokesperson of Rastafari Movement Kenya. We are offering unwavering full support to Professor. We believe and we trust in him. We want now an economic freedom, financial independence. Sasa tunataka pesa mkononi. Hatutaki pesa kwa mfuko ya wakubwa. Tunataka pesa mkononi. Kila mwananchi apate pesa. We also want legalization. Tunajua bangi ni mmea. We know bangi is a herb. Yes sir. Na hii mmea inaweza tusaidia kuinua uchumi wetu. Tunataka viwanda zenye zimekuwa zimekufa juu ya corruption. Tunataka pesa irudi kwa mwananchi. Thank you.
Warasta hapa wanataka kufanya chant. Nimeambiwa inaitwa chant. Wafanye chant yao, na kiongozi wao ataweza kuongea kidogo, atuambie what the Rasta community is saying. Sawa. Take it. Tuendelee.
Rastafari.
the world without end. I because the Almighty has made you as a perfect being in this creation. You are no lesser than any. He said, civilizations
Glory be to God, Son, and power. Glory be unto the Most High, Father of creation, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First, Wise of Menen I. Glory be unto Marcos Mosiah Garvey, who say and prophesy and say that the time for the black man liberation is here. Whereas the great man and the great woman of Africa to represent I and I in this time. I hear. Yes. Black power. Yeah, man. My names are Rastafari, Lojuron Agri-Jaden, and I is the chairperson of the Rastafari Society of Kenya. You have seen I and I in the battles in the court when we are defending our children against the cutting of their hair, which is the black man's blessing. Because and we give thanks that through the court, the government of Kenya have declared that Rastafari is a faith like any other faith in the world and must be respected and according to the Constitution of Kenya, which brings us all together, Article 32, that all Kenyans are equal. And I, as Rastafari, have been through great tribulation. As we all know the history, we are all historians and lovers of history, because people without knowledge of their past is like a tree without its roots. We all know that the history of Rastafari begins when our forefathers were taken against their will the land of slavery to go and work for freedom, work for free for 400 years. A time has come now, 50 years, 55 years after independence, that God has sent for us another Moses. Because the problem that faces our continent today is malnutrition, poverty, sickness, illiteracy, and lack of opportunities for the young people. And we know very well that Africa is blessed with the sun, the soil, and fresh water, that if given opportunity, we are able to feed the world, not only with food, but provide medicine, and as well as also provide guidance to reduce immorality and the threat of nuclear warfare that we are seeing today happening in the rest of the world. So let us take this matter that is before our hand and this period as a serious time. Young people who have their voting card, please do not sleep. Turn out in large number so that you can make the rightful decision. People should stop suffering from cancer and poverty, because we are the richest continent in the world. And I have a lot to reason, but today is not our day. Today is the day for our chairperson and our elder, Wajackoyah, to come and tell us how he has a plan for the youth of this nation. But please, Your Excellency, as you are sent to be our 5th president of this country, remember that the Rastafari community has been sidelined for so long and marginalized, and our story has been misinterpreted. Please, as you enter, let us come closer to you so that we can also provide
interesting. It's called Hemp for Victory. This Hemp for Victory will prove you that it will show you why America today is a superpower. Your grandmother, even the toddler at home, make sure they know what marijuana is capable of and what ganja is capable of and what hemp is capable of, so that we don't have this perception of saying marijuana is bad and marijuana was created by the Most High, like the way we are created by the Most High. Okay? So it is our duty. We make sure that Roots Party are sent to State House with no any complication. Full peace and love. This is what we preach as a Rastaman and as an African. So, tingisha miti. Tingisha miti. Yes, make sure you don't forget, if you shake the tree, the fruits will fall down, and when the fruits fall down, you'll be healthy. So, Roots Party all the way. Blessings to the Most High.
Wapi kelele ya Warasta? You know, our fifth president, Professor Wajackoyah, and our deputy president, Justina Wamai, wamesema they are going to guarantee religious freedoms. Kama ni Waislamu ujue Friday inakuwa Saturday pia tunatulia na Sunday pia. Nataka tuko na wakardinali ndani ya nyumba. Subaru ziko area, si ndio? Wapi kelele ya wakardinali? Kabla wakardinali wakuje, nataka makufu na tear gas. Watufanyie mambo yao kidogo, changamuke, tusimame kidogo, tu dance. Kila mtu asimame. Kila mtu asimame. Kila mtu asimame. Si ndio? Hebu kaende basi.
It's the DJ. No time to waste. Drop it. Drop it. Kama unapenda reggae, kama unapenda Wajackoyah. Nasima skanking and grooving. Remember move your body skanking. They grooving. Under pressure, and skanking, grooving. Under the pressure of the nimekaa na Profesa Wajackoyah wakiwa na Justina. Wajackoyah Professor. kusema our vice president, our incoming vice president, this one happens to be her favorite reggae song. I'll see you. Wapi kelele our vice president Justina. No one. Professor Wajackoyah. Corruption. What he can. That's the nature of a Rastaman. So I know everybody is feeling. Alafu mimi ndo pasta wa Rasta. Kwa machina tia nasema baba nene baba nane. Alamani wani nini Jamaica. Professor Wajackoyah ndio kusema. Wapi mikono ya professor? Kama uko na kura na unajua unapigia professor, weka kule kwa hema. Weka juu. Unajua tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 the 5th president of Kenya anaitwa Professor George somebody say kata simu tuko wapi? Beba ina rasta man party challenge me ina rasta man party Charles as in big roots and when I say professor, I say Wajackoyah professor. Ikifika tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 tunaweka kura kwa professor wakiwa na vice president Justina kelele. Over to you. Unanicheki naanza style. Hapo hapo. Unapenda reli ama ni peer pressure? Unapenda profesa ama ni upuzi tu uko nayo? Utapigia profesa ama unatuenjoy? Weka mkono mbili juu, weka mbele. Mikono juu, mikono juu. Sana nikiwaona wakitumia rege vibaya, lakini sasa tuko na mwenyewe Professor George. Waambie pastor wa Rasta amesema wasitumie rege ovyo ovyo, sawa? Rege ni Wajackoyah. Let's go. The favorite artist of our fifth president. When I say lucky, you say Dube lucky. Special for Professor Wajackoyah. Let's go. Kama wenye mraso unapenda amani, mkono chini. Ukiweka mkono moja wengine nakata na shetani. Weka mkono mbili juu ya hewa tafadhali. Amerudi mtaani, ananiambia baba dede, sasa ndio sasa.
Tutumie kidogo, tutarudi kupiga densi. Sawa sawa. Haya. Sawa. Tutulie kidogo, tuingie nafasi nyingine where we are going to unveil our manifesto. This is one of the serious businesses of this country. Na kuna mokorino hapa, simama usalimie watu, wave to the people. Kuna mokorino hapa ndani. Amekamna kinini. Salimia watu tu hivyo, weka mkono tu hivyo. Sawa, anaitwa Herman Junior. Sisi tunasema ni bangi ya kuuza, lakini unaona hata mokorino wako na mambo mengine. Lakini ni sawa ndugu yangu. Ni sawa. Atakuwa transporter. Haya, sawa. At this point, nataka nimwalike our deputy president aweze kutupatia vision ya nchi. Then akimaliza atuitie rais wetu wa 5 ambaye anaitwa nani? Justina, please. Take it.
Asante sana. By the way, wimbo iko ina message. Rastaman anablemiwa kila kitu. Kweli wangu. Leo nilikuwa meeting ya youth council asubuhi. Wenye waliona, yes. Na mimi nilicommit on behalf of Kenyan youth that we shall not be used to perpetrate violence. Swali, nilikosea kucommit? Mimi hata niliwaambia Rastaman is a peaceful man. Mwambie. Kwa hivyo sisi tunajua future ni yetu na watoto wetu. Generation inakuja ni sisi tunalidi nchi. Kwa hivyo tukipigana tuwe ghasia, tunaharibu mali ya watoto wetu na mali yetu, si ndio? Kwa hivyo niseme, unakumbuka tukiwa shule tulikuwa tunaambiwa andika insha, na unatumia msemo kama nina furaha bila kifani. Unakumbuka hizo vitu? Mimi furaha yangu iko hivyo, na niwashukuru kabisa. Pia nishukuru wa Kenya ambao wametutengenezea merchandise. Yani Roots Party has not spent anything on branding. But naona Mkenya ananunua t-shirts, Mkenya ananunua bana. Yani Kenyans are supporting us. Na mimi niko na confidence nikisema our campaign is people driven. Najua hiyo, I salute all of you. But I would want to appreciate one lady. Mama Unea. Please kuja tu. Ndio wale wazazi wako nyumbani waone mama wa age ana support this party. Mama wa age anatumia hela zake, ametengeneza vikombe za Roots Party na waprofesa wa Wajackoyah. Mama wa age anatengeneza merchandise. Karibu mama. Mimi nataka pole, si tuko na challenge nyumbani ya kuconvince wazazi wetu, shosho wetu, kuka wetu. So naona hii maneno ni bandi, si ni kitu mbaya. But mama Unea akisimama hapa, it speaks volumes. So nampatia 1 minute atuongeleshe kama vijana Roots Party na Kenya nzima wajue hii chama iko na watu machua. Karibu mama.
God is good all the time. Uliza mwenzako uko na kura au ni kujaza rumu na kucheza dance? Wajackoyah oye! Kila nyumba iko na mama, iko na nini na radha. Nani anaangalia kashakura kama iko shumbi? Tuko na mama. Jasmina oye! Oye! Mimi kile ningetaka kusema ni kushukuru Roots Party na honorable wetu Profesa Wajackoyah. Digrii 716 ni mchezo. Tumesoma kwa historia, kwa media, amesoma, ni kweli. Amefanya kazi gumu, hakika kazi gumu kwa binadamu, ni ukweli. Amka asubuhi, elekea na njia, ambia Mungu yako, leo natoka kwa nyumba, nataka kufanya hivi, nataka kwenda shule. Kukiwa kama umeenda shule, masaa ile uko free, enda ukafanye kazi. Ni kweli? Nashukuru. Mama. Nashukuru.
Babylon Soja.
Niko nyuma yake. This is my daughter. I'm happy. Today is our day. We are here to demystify Roots Party. Si ndio? Watu wanapenda kusema mambo mingi. Mengi yameandikwa kwa magazeti. Sisi ni project. In fact, sasa naweza sema yenyewe gazeti ilifunge nyama. Ukweli wangu. Mimi nataka kuuliza Prof nikiwa hapa. Prof, umeona vile Wakenya wanatupenda? Wanatupenda bure. Bure, Prof. Kweli, sisi wenye mnatupenda tunaweza asaliti? Hapana, we cannot. Tuko na nyinyi mpaka mwisho. I want to assure you that as Justina Wamai. Mimi, yani hata leo tumeimba national anthem. Karibu nilie. Unaona venye tunasema Kenya istahili heshima. Mio basi imenikuza nikaona ukweli tunastahili heshima. Lakini tunakosa heshima kwa nini? Hatuna pesa, mikopo huku na pale, tunataka donor funding, na tuko na shamba zetu. Mbona tusiekelee industrial hemp ama na madegani? So hivyo mimi nasikia tu mkera nikilia mtu yetu ni furaha. Lakini kwa unyenyekevu kabisa. Hizo vitu ndio zinafanya mtu asikie uchungu kwa Mkenya. But mimi ningewaomba kwa unyenyekevu.
Unajua pia Rastaman na watu wa roots tunaambiwa we are jokers. Mimi ningewaomba tu mniruhusu nisome tu hii speech. Niliandika from my heart na mniruhusu niongee kwa Kizungu. So that we can prove to Kenyans that one, tuko na agenda. Kweli uongo? Tuko na agenda. Kweli uongo? Na tuko na future. Kweli uongo? So let me read this speech kwa sababu hii niliandika tu from my heart. Na tuta maintain, eh? Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kenyans, all protocols observed. My name is Justina Wamai, the presidential running mate to Professor George Wajackoyah. As a Kenyan, I have first-hand experience on how hard and tough it is to be a Kenyan. This opportunity is simply humbling to me, given that back in 1997 I was 10 years old, being brought up in Kibera, which was in Langata constituency then, and being in the same ballot paper 25 years later with my MP then. And most of the people who we are competing with have been in politics directly or indirectly. Guys, I'm humbled. And this speaks to why watu wako nyumbani, children who are watching us, because I know as it is, wazazi wanaforce watu waone news. My parents used to do that. So I'm sure there are young kids at home wanaona hii by default, mzazi is watching. It is clear that wanasema your dreams are valid. Do not be scared to dream. Kweli uongo? Haya, niendelee nisema. Today, I'm delighted as a woman and a youth to be on the decision-making table. This Roots Party ticket seeks to convert youth and women into frontline agents in the development agenda of Kenya. And to this end, Roots Party is cognizant that the presidency has two aspects. The hard aspects, which is legislations and regulations, but the soft aspects, which speaks to the minds and hearts of Kenyans. Roots Party has listened to the minds and hearts of Kenyans. And we are saying, it is not right that 5.5 million youths are unemployed. 1.2 million Kenyans living above the poverty line of 220 shillings daily. High cost of living occasioned by increased taxes. High debt, which is approximately 10 trillion, meaning a child conceived today owes 189,000 Kenya shillings. Huyo ameconceiviwa. Human rights issues, because when I say Kenya is stahili heshima, some people who are victims of the 1998 bombings were never compensated, but others were. What is the role of our government? To protect its people. Kenyans are stuck in the Middle East. Women, men, seeking greener pastures. How is the government protecting them? In this backdrop, Roots Party is the solutions to Kenya. Roots Party seeks to uphold the respect of Kenyans by first paying off our debt quickly as soon as possible. Shun donor support and instill confidence in our people that grass is greener in Kenya. Join us, let us water our grass in Kenya. As I stand here, I seek to speak to both men, women, and the youth. This demography requires us to amplify their voice. And the most important thing, tuliambiwa si pesa mfukoni, ni pesa mkononi. How are we going to achieve this as Roots Party? Number one, we want to legalize and regulate marijuana in this country. Marijuana is used across 9 sectors, producing over 25,000 products. The sectors are food and beverage, automobile fiber, construction and insulation, plastic and paper, furniture, textiles, cosmetics, lubricants, and medicine. All this we import. Kweli uongo? Yet we have people here, our own labor, who can do it. Many people at home might be asking, why did Roots Party focus on industrial hemp or marijuana? You know, someone was telling me you can do potatoes I mean, the results are the same. But we have gone into research. Mulisikia daktari Ogota hapa. Unaona ni mtu amesoma. Let us respect watu ambao wamesoma. And also let us learn to appreciate our own knowledge producers. You know, most of the time tunasoma maneno za wengine. We consume knowledge. But we are focusing on Kenyan knowledge producers like Dr. Ogot. Why industrial hemp? Ukiangalia global prices. Maize, 90 kg is 3,000. Sugarcane, the government is buying at 4,112 per ton. Coffee per gate is 23 shillings per kg. That is coffee and tea at the gate. But the market price for industrial hemp is 159,000 per kg. Our role as Roots Party is to run a profitable government. A government that does not seek to tax people, its people, or a government that doesn't need to borrow debt to run its projects.
That is what a government.
Exactly. So, how are we going to create employment for the women and youth? Number one, the youth, women, men will be farmers by default. Exactly. Number two, there's a question on how we are going to control the CBD marijuana that tuliambiwa na Dr. Ogot na ingine ya Kicc ile ya kulevya. We are going to reintroduce agricultural officers who will be inspecting land like what they used to do with coffee. Finally, Professor has been saying that expressway yote itakuwa na bangi. And someone akaniuliza, kweli mtu akaniuliza, haya sasa jubangi itakuwa commodity, itakuwa valuable. How are we going to protect? Tunasikia avocado zinaibiwa. Si tukasema we are going to recall all NYS youth who graduated na hawana kazi. Si walifundishwa? That is creating employment by default. Not forgetting the industries in the 9 sectors producing over 25,000 products. Kwa hivyo already youth are consulted mwenye nataka kazi. But kuna the other type of youth and woman and man mwenye anasema I can be an investor. When you go to the bank, they ask you for security as collateral. Ukweli? Tuko hata na gari, si tunataka hata boda tuna ukweli ukitisha logbook, do you have it? Ama uko nazo? Mimi naongea vitu hivi. Ndio tukasema we will avail, because when we're in government, land belongs to the government. 200,000 acres zitatengewa. We have a project like the Yali one where we pick the best 50,000 youths in cohorts. Cohort moja inaenda 4 months. 4 months, huyo youth anapata 4. Let me say this, looking into the future, sustainability aspects. In 50 years, Nairobi will not be habitable because of climate change and global warming. But tukiekelea industrial hemp, it acts as crop cover, cover our soil. Kwa hivyo hata kule arid and semi-arid areas, with time, that land will be habitable, it will be arable for farming. Hata Nairobi kikuwa moto ama watu wajae, when Professor tells you that we will go to Isiolo, does it now make sense? It does. So let me say this, as we unveil our manifesto, this is the real change. This is the real financial independence. And I put to you Kenyans that we are ready for change. And I'll leave you with a quote. Najua lazima tuchangamshe bongo, eh? A guy called Ralph Waldo alisema, among the map makers of each generation are risk takers, those who see opportunities, seize the moment, and expand man's vision of the future. We as Roots Party are the risk takers, and we are seeking your mandate to expand Kenya's vision of the future. God bless you. Sasa ile wakati mmechangamka? Hapana, mimi nataka tiaga, kuna ngoma mimi napenda. Hebu simameni ndio the fifth akikuja hapa. Tiaga. Unajua umefanya tiaga. Unajua umefanya remix ile Wajackoyah. Ndio kila Mkenya wenye hapa ama nyumbani ajiulize Wajackoyah atafanya nini na msikize what Wajackoyah will do for you. Tiaga.
Haya, nishawafunza hiyo ngoma, si ndio? In a 1, 2, 3, let's go. Unamnyoshea kidole. Tumkaribishe the fifth president of Kenya, Professor George. Luchini anaitwa nani? Wacha. Wachigwa nani? Anaitwa nani? Wacha. Oh, wachigwa nani? Anaitwa nani? Wajackoyah. President Electorale, the people's president. Hey, come on, everybody.
Tusikize rais wetu, ndio? Haya, chini ndio tusikie Kenya Wajackoyah anatuambia. Situlie chini kidogo. Sawa. Asante. Guys. Let's sit down. Ndio tuweze kuendelea. I want to call, excuse me. Nataka niite our deputy president Justina Wamai sasa tuitie rais. Rais atusomee manifesto, atuambie manifesto iko namna gani. Si ndio?
Umeshindwa hata kukaa chini, umebambika. Mtasikiza kama umesimama. Haina ile roots part. Professor Wajackoyah, it is my humble duty as your deputy to ask you this question on behalf of Kenya. Wajackoyah, what you gonna do for your people?
Thank you very much, my Deputy President, Justina Wangoi Wamai. I also take this opportunity to thank your lovely husband,
for allowing you and for giving you this freedom to come and build your country, to come and develop your country, to come and look at what's necessary for young women like yourself or in your age brackets so that they can have hope, that they can move forward, and they can be emancipated from mental slavery. I thank you very much. Secondly, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you here. And I'd also like to thank the chairman of Roots Party, Mr. Musheru. I'd also like to thank the Meru group, the group that came from Meru, led by Mr. Yagnik. Please just raise and say. I'd also like to thank the group led by my friend Bilal, wherever you are. I take this opportunity to thank the reggae community, particularly the leaders of the reggae community. And before I give my speech, my short speech before we go to our 10 commandments, I would like to assure the reggae people that while I was practicing as a lawyer in the United Kingdom, before I moved to the United States, we had a case, and that case was a Rastafarian case which was taken to the courts by a Rastafarian movement who wanted recognition as ethnic minorities and recognition as their religion, as a religion of emancipation from mental slavery. When that case was taken over to the House of Lords decided in the other way around, and they said that Rastas were not old enough. They have never been there for 60 years, and therefore they were not qualified to be known as a religion. That in itself led to a lot of outcry in the United Kingdom, and that's why this issue of the Race Relations Act 1991 came about. I am with you. I'm a Rastafarian. My son, who plays football in the UK, is a Rastafarian, he's an engineer, and my household compelled me to go to Jamaica to buy a piece of land in Montego Bay, where I built a house for my children, meaning that wherever you are, if you look at the statistics of people who are in jail, the Rastafarian community, I would say, and I would like to thank you, as very, very few. I don't think whether they're over 10, apart from those who have been enlisted, arrested, harassed, taken in jail for possessing a source or a stem of marijuana, which informs me that the man who was arrested recently in Nyeri, that graduate from Egerton, from Moi University, who was only doing a deserving purpose to disengage from criminal activity, to engage himself from an economic activity, to have himself, because of unemployment, to heal himself through the herb. That man was arrested, and I saw it on television. I felt so bad the way the police officers were treating him like a criminal. I, having been a police officer myself before, could not treat someone like that. That was an inhuman and barbaric kind of degrading situation. I also look at the people who were arrested with 2 sacks of marijuana in northeastern province. Anyone who is actually arrested with marijuana, the police are fond of calling the media. I would like to take this opportunity to tell our media, the 4th estate, that whereas it's your duty to disseminate information, sometimes just be nationalistic and say, no, instead of taking so many pictures of this poor thing seated on soil, being asked very relevant, stupid, and archaic questions, instead of being taken to the courts for the lawyers to do their job. The police now become the judges, the police now become the doctors, they become psychiatric experts to start harassing a young man sitting on the ground, asking very stupid questions. And I can assure you that if such cases were in the UK or US, after you have been given your rights to remain silent, there's no any other word that ought to be uttered. But the police in Kenya are misusing their legal authority, and that's why they need to be informed. By harassing people, calling in the media before proving somebody's innocence, and putting the whole family out there as a family of value. And that's why we are going to release. We're going to release all of them. We are going to decriminalize it, the way the United States and the federal government in the US has decriminalized marijuana for purposes of economic growth. I also take this opportunity also to thank the Somali community and our representative from Northeastern for having been very much robust. What he didn't tell you is that members of the Somali community are punished twice in this country. They are punished twice because one, because they are Somalis, and secondly, whenever they go to take their identity card, they have to prove 4 times of being Kenyans than their fellow Kenyans in other parts of the world. That is going to end. That's going to end. And I can assure members of the Somali community that you are going nowhere. You are going to live in this country, and we are going to reward you by moving our capital city from here to Isiolo, so that you can also know issues of loyalty to the system, issues of following political leaders on political correctness, issues of clanism, issues of tribalism has to end henceforth. The world is hemp country. We are now producing and introducing a new tribe in Kenya known as the Hemp tribe, where everyone will be proud of himself, everyone will be looking at each other, and they will be saying, we in Kenyans, we are bound together by peaceful solution through the hemp, because it heals us, it brings us from mental slavery, and it also makes us strong in terms of economic earnings, so that we become #1 economic earners in the world, since we are the first country in the world to produce the most powerful president on earth, Barack Obama. And ladies and gentlemen, before I go ahead, we have received a lot of criticism from members of the clergy. It's my humble opportunity to appeal to them to read our manifesto first. Let them read our manifesto first. We don't have any problems with the clergy. We don't have any problems with the religion. We actually guarantee freedom of expression. But please do not abuse that by being very selective. Instead of praying for our souls, don't condemn. If you know that you have said something wrong, call us and say, please, can we have some kind of dialogue so that we can discuss this thing, so that we can have a common understanding. But you have no right to condemn what you're supposed to heal, to condemn the souls that you're supposed to pray for. Then if you're condemning this soul, then when we die, who will actually go to heaven? Do you condemn us? Or do you emancipate us from condemnation? Do you contaminate us? Or do you emancipate us from condemnation? Do you abuse us? Or do you heal us from the abuse? What image are you trying to portray? What image are you trying to portray as a man of God? Not all men of God are bad. Neither are we all bad. But when there is a problem, let us discuss it and have dialogue. And I can assure you that even if you go to Rome today, you go to Mecca today, you'll find out that religious purity is within the books of God. And to those that think that I've offended them, I'm willing to tell God today to forgive me. Forgive me so that we can have dialogue. But God, do not forgive me if you know that I was right. I'm asking you, God, not forgive me if you know that I was right. But if I was wrong, forgive me personally, not through another individual. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our 10 commandments or our manifesto, let me also appeal to you that we have many, many Kenyans in the diaspora. We have millions of Kenyans, or we have millions of shillings and pounds and dollars sent in by our fellow Kenyans who are in the diaspora, and nobody's thinking about them. Nobody's thinking about how to put up structures like what Malaysia has done, like what Philippines have done, so that we can actually be accountable to what we bring in and be proud of being Kenyans. We have so many Kenyans in the diaspora who are so much, who have contributed a lot in the diaspora. And when I say Kenyans, I'm talking of Kenyans of indigenous origin and Kenyans of Asian origin. Kenyans of indigenous origin and Kenyans of Asian origin who have gone out there and they have done so well in their migration theory. And they have made the world feel so good by contributing what they have in terms of brain drain. We now need brain gain. We need to gain from what they have been drained to bring that back home. And let us actually be the first government on earth, the first government in Africa, and the first government in Kenya to recognize the value of the Kenyans in the diaspora. Having myself stayed there for many years, where I had to be a mortuary attendant, where I had to clean the old people in old people's homes, where I had to be a grave digger, where I had to clean them red buses in UK, where I had to go through the cold. But I had only one agenda, to come back home and bring what I earned through hard work, through sweat, back in this country. When I came in this country, I can assure you for free, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are here, those who are coming in to label us, those who are using my name on social media to purport to be myself, writing things that are not right, I forgive them today, because they do not know what they are doing. Politics of this kind are very destructive politics. We have had our Excellency, His Excellency the President. We also have had His Excellency the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. We also have had the Deputy President, Honorable William Samoei Ruto, as people who have been, and I respect them, and I'll continue respecting them for the role they have played. I am not here to point at them because they are my colleagues. But one thing I have to say today, is that let us have a common ground whereby we don't initiate that in our campaign by coming up with bloggers who purport to be us. What actually are we fighting for in this country? Are we not fighting for economic emancipation and economic freedoms so that we can stand to be counted as men of integrity? Or are we fighting to that in each other's names? Are we fighting here to point fingers at others? If you find us pointing a finger at any other presidential candidate without actually mentioning the wrongs that are being done to the people, then just ignore. Similarly, if you find some people writing things about us, people who are writing things about us, saying that we need to be taken here and there, just ignore. They are seeking some kind of audacity to be heard. We are not answering them, don't answer them. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, may I again laud the young men and women who have come in today, who have sacrificed. Young men and women who have come in this place without asking for money. Young men and women who have come here today to sacrifice for their country. Young men and women who are sitting in this podium, who have come from Madare, who have come from Kangemi, who have come from Kibera and Kayole, on barefoot, without being given money, without being bussed in here, without having our men and women singing and dancing before others after the few coins that they have been paid. I can freely tell you that what I've seen here today should be what we should be doing every day. What I've seen here today should continue after the 9th of August. When we take over the government, we are going to inherit a very, very huge debt. Don't you dare be told, and let truth be told today. Some people are saying that in the first 100 days, they are going to do this, they are going to do that. As we are inheriting problems, we are inheriting deficit, we are inheriting financial disaster. The issue of happiness should not be there. Let us rejoin ourselves. Let's look into ourselves. Let's look at ourselves in the mirrors. What kind of government are we inheriting? We are inheriting a bankrupt economy. And for the first 100 days, not 100 days, 500 days, or let me say 6 months, or let me say probably 1 year, we are going to have to work very hard. It will be a period of tears. It will be a period of not ululation, not harmony, but a period of disaster. Because we shall be like, now where do we go from here? Do we continue borrowing, or do we sacrifice to have what we have? I'm going to sacrifice my gold, the one that my daughter bought me when she passed her exam. I'll sacrifice this. We'll put it somewhere and melt it to cure the disasters of this country for the first 1 year as we grow hemp. We are also going to look at judiciary. We are also going to look at judiciary and shall ask ourselves, why were these laws made and who made this law and for what purpose? Were these laws made to injure and punish the poor, to have them last in poverty? Or were these laws made for the rich people or to punish young people who have no employment, who have nowhere to go. When they see something like marijuana, to actually treat their emotions, they are arrested and beaten and thrown in jail. Is that what we want with the judiciary? Or do we want to have a new mechanism of judiciary so that people can participate in that judiciary to have proper judicial outcome? Or do we have to have this archaic law from Britain? These punitive laws that were brought in by the colonial masters. And we are told, this is the law, you have to follow it. Whose law is it? We have to introduce what we call subaltern laws, laws of the people. And the only way we can introduce laws of the people is to suspend the Constitution, to suspend part of that Constitution, to suspend the Constitution. When I say suspend the Constitution, the first people to attack me are those people in suits and ties, people who purport to have gone to school, people who purport to know that law is meant to be a law. Tunafuata sheria, tunafuata sheria. Hiyo sheria mkifuata namna hivyo, tunaungua. Ukienda nchi zingine watu wamesema pana, let us have alternative dispute mechanism. Ili mtu akiiba kuku ya mtu, tujue kwa nini aliiba hiyo kuku. Aliiba hiyo kuku ya mtu akiwa na njaa, ndiye achinjie watoto wake wakule, tusurvive. Ama unashikwa na polisi, huwezi kuulizwa kwa nini umeiba. Can we call the owner of the chicken and ask him, look in my eyes. If you are hungry like this man, and your children are sleeping hungry, and maybe has a wife who has given birth and there's nothing the wife can eat to maintain the child, and maybe he was afraid that if he asked you, you'll chase him away. Would you really do this kind of thing? Therefore, we need reconciliation at all levels. We need reconciliation at all levels. We need to talk to each other. We need laws that harmonize relationships between people or the Hemp tribe. We don't need now to call the police and the chief. Something like Changa. A child came to my home recently, a little boy, and he said, Dad, I want you to listen to me. Then I said, what is it? He said, I've passed my exam. My mom brews Changa. I can't go to school because the Changa that was brewed yesterday to be taken to Marach Estate in Busia, the chief came and threw it away. Therefore, I have no money to go to school. What would you do to such a kind of a child? Ladies and gentlemen, what will you do to such a kind of child? What would you do to that chief who comes to pour that drink to deny this boy or this girl a chance? Answer me. Answer me. What would you do if you go home and you find that something very petty has led to someone being arrested and denied his life? What I did is I said, son, I'll take you to school. And my PA is here. Wambua, stand up. That's the guy who does everything that I do. I told him, find out where the school is. Of course, it was just next to me. And get fee for that kid to be paid for a year. On top of that, we also gave a stipend. And as I speak, there's also a young Maasai man in this room. Where's Choko? That young man, I met him when he was in Stare Boys. His socks were torn. It was at YWCA. And he came to me. And he's like, I am an orphan. That's why I'm in Stare. But I always thought that Stare Boys was for the best. I didn't know that it was for the orphans. Then I realized that his socks was torn. And I said, haven't they given you school you were? He said, no. The rest is up to him. He has already graduated with Bachelor of Commerce from Mount Kenya University. But then do we need to tell the world with whatever that we do? Do we need to brag that we have done this and this and that? That's why we go wrong with political entities in this country. They do something small, they want cameras to follow them, so that they're seen to be doing what they have to do. Now, before I continue, let's now look at that. Our manifesto. I will start by saying, number one, I don't know whether you can hear me. If you have access, or if your eyes have access to the shadows on the ground and on the top of the room, our manifesto number one says we shall legalize weed. But I would like Dr. Gwada to come and stand near me, because that man is a blueprint of information that this country has refused to follow. This man has of recent advised a president in the neighboring country to start marijuana, and he has started it, though I will not name the president. Professor, if I go wrong, just pardon me and take over. But because of time, I'll go very fast. Number 1 acre of bangi can earn you $78,000 or 8 million per harvest. Per harvest. A harvest takes only 6 months. Now, if you have to harvest, that is 16 months, you earn 16 million. Of course, it will come with the tax implications, so that you can raise money and revenue for the government to continue with what it ought to do. The whole of Nyeri county is 583,000 acres. This means that if we grew bank in Nyeri County, Nyeri residents will earn $45 billion or 4.6 trillion per harvest. Kenya today owes China, or the debt we have today is $10 trillion. Mengine unaweza kujazia. What happened? Is that where we've support? Where's number 1? Where's number 1? I thought we started with number 1. Yes. And because banking is harvested twice a year, it means Nyeri residents will earn $92 billion or 9.2 trillion every year. This means if we grew bank for export, Nyeri is in 1 year, will earn the equivalent of Ethiopia's GDP. If we grew bank in Nyeri alone, as you see, each Kenyan could get a dividend check. In Nyeri, each Kenyan would get a dividend check of 200,000 Kenya shillings every year from the sale of banking. That's Nyeri only. That means that we shall be very happy with that amount just from one county. Semeni haleluya. Kila mtu atakuwa anafanya nini? Ana pesa yake. Utakuwa na bodaboda ya nini? Utauza miraa. Si miraa ikitoka una export tu na huko na pesa nyingine extra. Utakaa kwako ama utakaa kwako? Utajenga nyumba ya mabati ama ya tiles? Tuendelee. If we grew bangi in Nyeri alone, we would build 3 expressways in each county in Kenya. 2 express in each county in Kenya. If we grew bangi in Nyeri alone, Kenya could buy Bill Gates and Microsoft in just 2 years. Canada, last year alone, of 75,000 acres, harvested $486 billion. And you see all the drones you see flying here and there, they are made up of fiber, which is from hemp. If you look at Canada, this year, they manufactured the first plane made out of hemp, a product of marijuana. Now, if that plane was to land in Kenya today to pick up passengers, because of international law, has Kenya got any jurisdiction to go and inspect the fabric of that plane? Let us stop joking. Let us stop being given unfair promises that cannot be fulfilled. We have the solution. And finish. You know, I went to school slowly. I was not making, there was a point that was down there. But let's continue. Yes. If we grew bank in Nyeri alone, Kenya will have 10% of IMF total cash reserves. In short, we'll never have to borrow a single coin in future. Kenya will become the richest country in the world. Mount Kenya was made wealthy by 2 cash crops, coffee and tea. In fact, Kikuyus got their economic head start in 1923 when they were allowed to grow coffee and tea. Before 1923, it was illegal for any indigenous Kenyan to grow both crops. Bangi is our next cash crop. It grows widely in Mount Kenya. Question is, if we required the permission of Muzungus, who have now legalized bangi, why should we legalize? We have punitive laws. We have punitive laws which were imposed on Kenyan Parliament through foreign aid, nakada. Na wakati wametengeneza hiyo sheria, because wameambiwa msipotengeneza hii sheria tutawapatia mkopo, unaona wengine wanaenda kucheza hapo akisema, I've now made the rule, I've now made the rule. I wish there was a mimic here. Wanaenda to rejuvenate, putting our men and women in jail for things that are not proper. Having punitive regulations in this country that are putting our country outside the circles of morality. That's why we should have morality and solidarity. Repeat after me, morality and solidarity.
Morality and solidarity.
That's Roots Party for you. But for the others, and repeat after me, is morality and is solidarity and immorality. Solidarity and immorality. That's what you see, and that's how I define our opponents. Because they are in solidarity with immorality. They're telling us lies, package of lies, package of lies. They're not telling us how. We are telling you how. And that is the truth. It takes a man like Daktari here, who first of all started this crusade, went to the Senate twice, was thrown out because the pharmaceutical companies that I'm opposed to, who make medicines, have got what we call the lobbying scheme. When they hear that Kenya wants to legalize bangi, they will call in the ministers concerned. Can you come for a talk in Britain? Whatever money they are given probably, and we know, and have figures, and trust me, I'll trash some of these opponents when they bring, yeah, you get them with bank accounts in Singapore. In Singapore, and I know who has money in Singapore and Dubai. In Singapore, so long as you can pay taxes on monies that you take there, that becomes legal. The wash that we know, the monies are taken to Singapore, they pay 15%, and then they bring it through Dubai to this country. Some of those opponents, let me tell you this, because I have the information, have staffed companies in Dubai to wash money. When the time for hanging comes, I will hang those ones when the laws are there. Tunataka kila mtu atuambie, including myself, ni pesa ngapi uko nayo? Hizi nyumba unaishi ulitoa wapi? Hii magari uko nayo umetoa wapi? Hii watoto wako kila wakati wakiwa wagonjwa naenda ng'ambo unapelekanga namna gani? Hii uongo unatudanganya kila siku unatudanganya kwa nini? It's up to you guys to ask. It's my humble opportunity to exercise. It's my humble opportunity to exercise your right to vote. To guard that vote, as Mr. Kanye has said. Mr. Kanye that you saw there is a world scientist. He has worked for NASA in the US. He's a statistician. Very humble man. And probably that's why Justina chose him. Because if you look at Justina, umeona kama amechoka kwa uso. Umeona kama amechapa. So huyu mnaweza kumwamini na wasichana wenu. That's why alichukua kwa kamjamaa. Nafikiria hiyo ni mambo tutaongea baadaye. Number 2, snakes. Snakes. The Bible says that a snake, which they call a serpent, was a very brave animal. Inaendelea kusema kwamba hiyo ndio danganya Adam. if. Na hiyo ni story zao, hataki kwenda in between because kunasemekana kwamba kulikuwa na matunda ilikuliwa huko. Na watu wengine wakakasirika, ndio kwa maana watu wakaanza kujiona out. Like the kind of snake I'm talking about ni ile snake yenyewe original. Hata mimi nikiwaonyesha hivi journalists, hii yote ni majeraha ya python when I was a young boy. How it really squeezed me to swallow me. To swallow me when I was young. Thank God I'm still alive. So I know the dangers of the snake. But the good part of it, the good part of that snake I'm talking about, is that it's carrying something in it. It is carrying something in it that is very productive, that will give us $1 billion US per year. Na mimi nataka watu wachanuke tafadhali. Tumezoea ile lugha ambayo tunafundishwa kila siku for the last 50 years. Tukiambiwa kitu kama hiyo wengine wanakimbia, na wale bloggers wa ule mwingine. Wale bloggers wa ule mwingine ambao mmechukua jina langu kuongea on my behalf. Endeleeni tu, lakini your lives will soon be disapproved on the 9th when I take over as the president of this country. Wengine wanajiita Profesa Wajackoyah kwa Facebook. Ile kizungu wanaandika haki ya Mungu ukisoma, unajijazia. We will rear snakes. Can I come back to my snakes, please? Allow me to go the way I am. I'm a professor of law. We will rear snakes. If we did snake farming, each venomous snake farmer will earn an average of $6,000 or 600,000 per vial antivenom. Kadogo tu hivi unanyonga kidogo, kanatoka chui, kanaingia kwa chupa. Hapo peke yake is 600 Kenya shillings unaweka kwa mfuko. Unaiwacha inaendelea. Alafu inajulikana hapo kwamba, for example, a cobra farmer will make $6,300 from a vial of cobra antivenom. If you harvest black mamba antivenom, a Kenyan farmer will take $5,300 per vial. Supposing you have 3 snakes. Na mtaonyeshwa kuvuga. Mtaonyeshwa how to keep them. You will be shown because the government will give you money from ganja to put a proper infrastructure. Here you are a ganja farmer. Na unaweka uchimani ya nyoka kule kwa ganja, ndio mtu asije kukuibia usiku. Alafu na harvest both sides. Will you not be happy? Will you not be happy? Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that we have wealth. We have wealth in our country. We don't need to depend on these people anymore. You heard the Rastafarian saying here. They said something about Patricia Lumumba. They talked about Haile Selassie. They talked about freedom of emancipation from slavery. When we look around ourselves and we ask ourselves questions, for how long are we going to be dictated upon? For how long are we going to be unemployed? For how long are we going to be told lies? Kazi kwa vijana, alafu napewa wheelbarrow na kijiko. Umepewa hiyo. Alafu naambiwa at bottom up ikienda juu na wheelbarrow. Na wewe umesoma kizungu, wewe umesoma kwa university, unaenda nyumbani, unaambiwa ati sisi tutakupanga, ati kina boda, kina mama. There will be no mama mboga in our government. Kila mtu atakuwa ni enough. There will be no wheelbarrows in our government. Kila mtu atakuwa enough. There will be no kila mtu atakuwa enough. There will be no lies. There will be no lies in our government. Kila mtu atakuwa na yake. There will be no theft in our government. Kila mtu atakuwa na pesa yake. Ukienda Greater Somalia, which hived itself from Somaliland, or let me say Somaliland Republic, kulikuwa na mambo mengi ya shifter na gorilla na nini, lakini sasa hizi ukienda huko, you can leave your money safe. You don't need to have a bank outside na unalala kwako. Lakini hapa mtu anakuibia, alafu anakuja kukuambia wheelbarrow. Mwingine anatoka huko, anakuambia I'll give you 6,000. What can 6,000 do to you? Surely. What can 6,000 do? I'll give you 6,000. Nawe mwenyewe tuambie ile pesa uko nayo ulitoa wapi? Wewe tuambie kila siku your family ndio wanaenda bunge wanakuwa hii na come on Kenyans, wake up. My brother is here. He's not even a member of the Roots Party. Where is he? Can you stand up? Yeah. That's my brother, anaitwa Mzito Warumba kwa small radio station kule Bungoma. Lakini yeye namtreat tu kama nyinyi. Hakuna special treatment hapa. Alikuwa anataka kusimama kura, just sit down. Nikamwambia it's your democratic right but not on my party. Because ukijaza mama yako, brother yako, nyanya yako, auntie yako, mnaenda bunge kufanya nini? Why can you give other people an opportunity? Why can you give a Rastaman an opportunity as a nominated member of parliament? Why can you give people who are down there opportunity to be who they are? Why must you be the one having everything? Ukiendesha gari ukienda mahali karibu na mtu mwingine ukiona nyumba to Otno and Maringa, yani hiyo nyumba ni ya nani? Unataka kujua mwenye hiyo nyumba kama amekuletea pesa. Justina is a very strict person here, and my Secretary General Adam also just stand around here to be seen. Hawa watu hawana mchezo. When it comes to nomination, ukija na meno ya paka watakwambia get out of this place. Thank you, Justina. Since nomination yetu ilikuwa kali sana. We did not want hooliganism. You'll never see Professor's brother or sister akiwa karibu na mimi. Brokers, that's what I'm talking about. There's no brokerage. All of you are my brothers and sisters. That's why. Mchina, nitakuja kwa Mchina baadaye. We will export dog meat. Wengine wameanza kusema tu ati wengine, there's nothing wrong kulala na mbwa yako. There's nothing wrong kutembea na mbwa yako. Dogs are medicine to us also. They are healing. But then we have got excess market of dogs in Lubao market in Kakamega. Where we have so many poor people. Where I come from, we have so many dogs. The dogs that were in Madare North, Wachina walikula wakamaliza. Unasikia tu kadogi kamefanywa kitu kamewekwa dawa kamepotea. But we shall export dog meat to China. We shall export hyena meat in China. Because fisi, hatuhitaji fisi katika Kenya hii. China anakulanga fisi. Na tukichukua mimi nasikia 1000 fisi 1000. Fisi 1000 wanaume wako na makende 2000. Na mimi nasikia hiyo makende ya fisi ni dawa kwa China. Let's keep it the way it comes. Kwa hivyo makende iko na bei mingi sana kushinda hata ganja. Kende moja ni karibu milioni 6. Kwa hivyo we shall export makende ya fisi, dog meat, pamoja na fisi. More than the price of a kilogram of goat meat. Kenya exports beef, goat and lamb to the Middle East, for instance, wherever it is. Kwa hivyo nimewaambia tena, wacha nirudie hiyo point nikiemphasize. Nyama ya nyoka inaenda China. Wakishakula then tumelipa. Alafu ngozi ya nyoka tutakuwa na industry hapa ya kutengeneza viatu na kutengeneza kila kitu. This time we are the ones going to export snake skins. Hatutapeleka huko ndio tuuzie tena. Tuendelee. Number 4. Hapa nataka mnisikize vizuri. Hapa nataka mnisikize vizuri. Kuna mtu anaitwa Kemsa. Kuna mtu anaitwa Kimoror Dam. Kuna mtu anaitwa Kura. Kenya Road, sijui nini roads. Tunajua hizo contracts nani wamechukua na kagawanya. Family ngapi? 3 tunazijua. Niseme nisiseme? Haya. Tuna procurement issues na my sister here has a master's in procurement. Ikitokezea mahali kuna familia ngapi? 5 ambazo zimegawanya Kenya. Mimi niko na solution. Because hatuwezi kufanya hivi kila wakati mtu anatoa pesa. Anakuwa the most revered faithful, naenda kununua Mungu ndio akulinde na pesa za wizi. Mungu hatakubali mwizi aende amununue. Hata Yesu mwenyewe alikataa kununuliwa alipoonyeshwa ati in my kingdom hiyo yote ni yangu. Hii mikate iko hapa, kuna tudemu hapa, namna hii na namna ile, inama chini unipigie magoti. Yesu alimwambia huyo mtu alisema nini? Mnasikia hiyo ni yenu. Kwa hivyo hapa kumekuwa na watu they just take no discipline in our society, especially in those who are in social fabric, who are bound to bring social relationships within people. If you see somebody who is meant to cure you emotionally, psychologically, and bring you back to fold, taking stolen money without asking the source of that revenue, taking stolen money, buying himself a can and enriching himself. The same way somebody tried to bring 200 million to me. Ati nichukue hiyo pesa ndio niende ni campaign kwa opponent yake, ndio opponent yake aanguke. Imagine what would have happened to all of you who believe in us. Ninunuliwe na pesa kidogo ndio sasa ile furaha mko nayo iende chini. Nitatembea Nairobi, simtaninyonga. Simtaninyonga. I am on the ballot to do that. We shall hang those people when we put legislation in place. When we suspend the constitution, part of what we are going to ask them is, can we revert to death penalty? Or can we hang them? Because in China, when you steal in China, they hang you. In Japan, when you suspect yourself to have stolen from the government, you commit suicide. In Britain and America and Germany, they take you to jail. But in Kenya, you go to parliament. That is why you see a lot of punitive laws from Nakada, punitive laws and proclamation from those who believe that they are near God, telling you, mnapotezwa na huyo. Because they know that you are going to seal the loopholes of corruption and the loopholes of free things, because you will have enough money, which will enable Kenyans to build their own churches and mosques. Because if you have the Bible or a Quran, you can directly pray to God. Personal relationship with God. Or you can hire a pastor to come and pray for you, right or wrong. But we shall not have thugs who will walk with the Bible and spit on your head and come and tell you that I can see there is a demon here. If they cannot remove the demon from themselves, how can they remove your demon? Those people who are casting the Rastafarians, those people who are casting other people, huyu ni shetani ashindwe. But he himself is Satan. What lazima jiangalie? What lazima ambie watu ukweli? What lazima preach the right message to the Lord? What lazima tuangalie namna hiyo? Hamwezi kuja kulabel the people who want to emancipate you guys from chains of slavery and mental slavery. That now huyu ametumwa, huyu ni Satan. Wacha nikuwe Satan, but if you follow me, then we shall together go to heaven, if heaven is there. Hallelujah. We are going to write down 3 things. Number 1, ukiwa umepatikana na hatia, umeiba, kutakuwa na choices of kifo. Number A, sentence itakuwa hivi: how would you like to die? Number A, lethal injection. Number 2, being stoned. Number 3, being shot, firing squad. Or number 4, being hanged. Alafu there will be a caveat there that if you choose number 4, being hanged, then utatengenezewa ugali na chapati na kuku, ndio ukienda kufa huo umeshi. Kwa hivyo we are going to have hemp. We are going to have a rope made out of hemp. Ile kikamata mara moja unakufa saa hiyo. Kweli rongo? if we kill about 14 of them, wengine wata, that's what has happened in China. 2 weeks ago they hanged 2 mayors because of corruption. Lakini ile napenda sana ni ile ya Afghanistan. If you're a politician and you have stolen, your hanging method is different from a civil servant. Ukiwa politician, unawekwa sigara kwa mdomo hapo. Kwanza unavalishwa suti na tai, alafu wanafufunua hivi. Wanaweka kamba hapo, wanaweka huko juu. Majuu kabisa. Alafu wakishaweka hivyo, wanakuhakishia sigara, wanakuambia vuta kwanza ukisema mashetani yako. Then they hang you to forget about you for life so that people don't come and steal from us again. Nyonga mwizi. Nyonga mwizi. Nyonga hao. Nyonga hao. Amen. Aka kachuma kutoka Mombasa mpaka Naivasha. Ako kachuma na kaweka ndani ya meli. Nachukua tu Chinese tunaweka kwa hiyo meli na magunia 500 ya bangi. Tunaambia nendeni kwenu. Why am I speaking like this? China is rotten. Wherever the Chinese go, there is a problem. Can I say it? They went to Zambia, they took Lusaka International Airport. Gone. When they went to Uganda, they have taken Entebbe. Entebbe International Airport is under siege. But Museveni has done one thing, and Dr. Gott is here, who has worked for Museveni for years. I am sure, if you didn't advise him, I don't know. Museveni saw that Ugandans were going to lynch him, and do you know what he did? He called in the Israelis, and he gave them 150,000 acres to grow wheat. Kusema, fanyeni haraka, nilipa watu Entebbe isiende. Museveni has legalized wheat as a result of the Chinese mismanagement of African economy and neocolonialism. And what the Chinese are doing in this country is very pathetic. We don't know whether they have taken Lamu, whether they have taken Mombasa, and whether they have taken where? Naivasha, Kisumu. I'm told they have taken it, if you read today's newspaper. If it is true that they have taken those 3 ports, and then when it comes to our graduate engineers, civil engineers who are supposed to do their job properly, hao ndio wanafanya kazi ya mkono. Mchina anakaa pale, ile Mchina ambaye alikuwa amehukumiwa anakuja hapa kufanya kazi kama kafiri. Yeye anakaa hapo, kanakaa hivi, tunakaanga hivi na kile tumajotoa kidogo. Wanachunga wa Kenya. That's why our roads have become accident zones. Our roads in Kenya zile built by Chinese, they have become prone to accidents. Sasa wameanza kutumaua watu wengine hapa. Wanasema ati hiyo tu vitu naona tule tumkebe tu plastic. Ati Jesus Christ. Ati hiyo tumkebe wanaweka maua. Hiyo maua imepewa kandarasi wa Kenya fulani, wa familia fulani. Tumekufa tu. Na China ndio wamele. Hiyo itakuwa ni banki. Of course, as my deputy has said, we shall regulate the growth of bangi for purposes of export and medicinal. The Chinese people will have to leave. I'll be on the 9th, after I've been sworn in, I think, wherever that date. After 2 days, I'll recall Kenyan ambassador to China, immediately to Beijing. And I'll ask the Chinese government to recall the ambassadors that we start fresh negotiations, and I'll cancel all those contracts. I want to know, and Kenyans will want to know, who made these contracts, who signed this contract, what was the kickback? And I'm putting those people on notice. Anyone who was involved in those contracts, alive or dead, you will have to be accountable. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use members of the military. I'm going to call our men and women in the barracks because they are more disciplined than some of these people. I'll commingle their soldiers, particularly those who have studied law, in special tribunals to help me work on this country. The goodness with the Kenya Army or members of armed forces is that if they are put somewhere, they work clean. And that's why His Excellency, the President of this country, took one of them, General Mbadi, to Nairobi County, and you have seen what Mbadi has done. Has he done something good? Who can clap for General Mbadi? His Excellency, the President, has also gone to Kenya Meat Commission. Hasn't he revived it by putting a general from the Kenya Army? Why can't I also tell our men in the disciplined forces to come out of the barracks and work with us, because they are Kenyans. When they came out to work on Uhuru Park, the engineering battalion from Kenya, they made something which is permanent. If you go to Uhuru Park, walitengeneza kitu safi. Therefore, I'm appealing to our members in Kenya Armed Forces that hata nyinyi, especially the engineering battalion, na vijana wetu wa engineer, mtatoka barracks, mtakuja kujenga barabara zetu, tuwe na specifications zetu. Ile pesa ambayo tungepatia wa Chinese itabaki hapa, because tutakuwa na enough money from banking, tutakuwa na enough money from venom, so that we can prosper. This is a nation of prosperity. This is a nation of prosperity. I know that some people are going to say later on that, oh, huyu mtu anataka kuharibu watoto wetu. Shindwe. Ukienda Jamaica, Jamaica is a great country. Jamaica is a country that grows bangi. Israel grows bangi. Ukienda Jamaica, the number of mental patients in Jamaica is not even there. Lakini ukienda Madari Mental Hospital, outpatients are 60,000. Inpatients are 20,000. Now, do you want to tell me that I'm mad? I am a madman. I'm a madman to say or to pinpoint at realities? And what kind of medicine are they given anyway in Madari? Hawapewi dawa. Sisi tuwapatia msokoto wavute tu na watoke. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ukiona mchinese anakuja anaandika mtu Kenya alafu anamchapa viboko atamechelewa kazi. Shindwe kabisa. Shindwe kabisa. Washindwe. Next. Do you have more? Yes. Tutafanya kazi siku 4. I'm telling employers and the middle class that we shall open up a 4-day working formula in a 24-hour open economy, where we shall have infrastructure working for 24 hours. Then we shall have 8-hour shift, whereby if you go in the morning at 8, you leave at 4. Somebody goes to work at 4, he leaves at 11. And the last shift is from 11 to 6 in the morning, which will mean that the rate of employment will increase. The relationship between employer and employee, the relationship between employer and employee will be cordial. Labor laws that are very restrictive will be abolished. And then on Friday, the Muslim community in the entire Kenya will have a holiday. And Kenyans will also be free on Friday in a 24-hour economy, 8 hours a shift, double production. What are we losing anyway? On Saturday, the Seventh-day Adventist is your day. And on a Sunday, Hallelujah churches, your day. But the minority Rastafarians, every day. Besides the Ministry of Hemp, which will be headed by Dr. Gwada, there will also be the Rastafarian and Minority Ministry, where a Rastafarian will become the first minister in my government in this part of the world. And pregnant women, pregnant mothers, we shall have enough money to take care of you as soon as you become pregnant. We are told you are by scientific evidence. Because you are 2 in 1. A woman carries somebody in her stomach for 9 months. That person kicks that woman, does all the damage in her to make her think the other way around. Then after the child is born, the child has actually to have accessories of a mother. They TT the mom, putting scars on her body in terms of those scars when mtoto ananyonya. Utakuta mwingine ni wazimu, badala kunyonya mama hapa, anauma. Those scars are painful, they're emotional. And then after that also, a mama takes the responsibility of that child. It's my sincere hope that mothers will be given, pregnant mothers will be given a stipend, whether married or not married, to take care of themselves for that period. We shall have enough resources. And whoever touches on a woman, the punishment will be there, and that one will come when we take over. We are also like, no. We shall talk, because you also know that there are some men that are beaten by their wives. Like mimi bibi yangu amenipiga twice, na mimi nasema it's okay. I walk away. Akinichapa kofi nasema thank you mom. I walk away. Then she comes looking for me and say, honey, can you come back? What about if I slapped her back? Will we have peace in that house? Sometimes there is that coffee I love. Mtu anakuchapa kidogo ndio ive. Ama namna gani? Alafu unatoka huko. Unaanza kuweka mangumi kwa mama. You are punching what? There will be a severe punishment for those people who do that. There will be no domestic violence in my government. But even if there will be, we shall have to look at them and find out the solution. We shall not rush to the police stations when we have other mechanisms that we can solve domestic problems. The issue of the police or police will come later on. And let me tell you this. Having been a police officer myself, I am so bitter when I see people abusing policemen. What you don't know is that policemen are underpaid. What you don't know is that anything that comes from the government is heaped on a policeman as a punching bag. Wengine wanaenda Japan or China wanakuja hapa wanasema kuanzia leo askari atavaa uniform ya blue. The constitution says, that's why we want to abolish it, that to constitute me, to make me, please ask me to have popular participation in what you want to transshape me. Police officers are never asked. They are given orders. You find that a graduate police officer today, when he joins police service, the police service as a constable, he earns the salary of a constable. A graduate police officer who joins the police as an inspector of police earns the graduate salary. But these people all help loans and interests. Now you tell me, somebody is being given peanuts and somebody is given that, and also the moral solidarity is not there. There is morality, there is solidarity with the morality, because if the two classmates who have joined the police, one as a constable and one as an inspector, earning different salaries, don't you think tuko na shida hapa? Don't you think that we should be proud of our men and women and empower them to do the right work, empower them so that they don't become corrupt, empower them so that they don't become pets of corruption? Don't you think that the police officers should be recognized through empowerment so that they are given the right dues? Instead of being given 15,000 shillings to rent a house in Nairobi, na unaenda na bunduki yako, no vehicle. Police officers are on top of my agenda. We shall make the best police force in the country, with one exception, that they will not be arresting Kenyans, because there will be no need of arresting them. We shall have enough money to take care of everybody. So, we shall have a 24-hour working economy. I don't know whether that was number 6. Did you have number 6? Now, number 7. Yeah, number 7, please. These are the commandments of German. These are the commandments of our manifesto. We will suspend the constitution. I've spoken about that. I will ask Kenyans, through the preamble of We the People, which supersedes the entire constitution. I'm a lawyer, for God's sake. A lot of lawyers here are very ignorant. They always say the constitution says, but they have no idea of what they are saying apart from simplicity in law school. Unaenda unasoma kadigri kamoja, unakuwa lawyer, unajifanya wengi. Na sisi tumesoma mpaka tumechambua kila kitu. Let them know that the word of the constitution is in the preamble. Those first words that start. Hii ingine inakuja, that is supplementary. The preamble says we the people. That's where we stop. So long as you give me the mandate to be the president, I'll go back to the preamble and say, I've been given the rights of we the people. And therefore I'll have a right to suspend the constitution. Put it on hold and ask Kenyans, translate it in all tribes, all languages, and ask Kenyans, what is it that you want? In judiciary, how comes that cases take longer in Kenya than any other place? How comes that corrupt people are jailed for 67 years, they appeal, and when they come out of the appeal, they go to seek for electoral seat? Come on, you know what we are talking to. How comes that that case of Chicken Gate versus IEBC, which was 10 years ago, is still ripe in Kenya, and those who committed the same felony, fallacious felony, in Britain have been tried, those found guilty were jailed, and they are out of jail 4 years. Hapa, Akina Oswago are still walking freely, whether he's innocent or not. Let me tell you, the judiciary, wherever you are, the Chief Justice, Wherever you are, I'm telling you, as a brother, I am telling you, judges, you will have to account for all your wealth. Because once we suspend the constitution, it will not be bread as over. We shall ask Kenyans to review the constitution and find out whether they will want domestic trials by jury, traditional trials by the elders, or dispute alternative mechanism from the bottom, from down there. Mtoto akipigana na mwenzake, na their brothers, they come from the same clan, or they are Kenyans. Let the parents intervene. Ask both parents, what do we do with these children? Rather than kuchukua mtoto ambaye is not even 18 years old or is not ripe enough to know what he's doing, unatupa kwa police station. Unampeleka huko mtoto ambaye alikuwa anasoma, anakutana na watu wengine huko ambao anamfanyia maovu, unampeleka kotini, unampeleka rumani. Is that the kind of judicial system we want? All the judges and magistrates who have been taking cases from here to there, and I'll find out if a case has been pending for 5 years. I'll look at all those magistrates and judges, and we shall ask them, how comes hii case imechukua miaka mingi? What interest did you get in it? Tutawanyonga hao. Nyonga hao. Nyonga hao. I'm the first person to say this, and I don't fear them, because hao huenda choo vile mimi naenda. Hao kulala vile mimi kulala. You know, I'm angry, but I'm a president. I can't show my anger. But how so many people. How easy. Wanyongo. Thank you. Number 8. Nairobi is overpopulated, right or wrong? Tanzanians wameanza na Dodoma as a capital city, administrative city, because of congestion in land. Nigeria have put up Abuja as their capital. In Kenya, I would suggest that we create a new capital in Isiolo, because Isiolo has got so much land that if we start building, we cannot even finish. We shall take our administrative capital in Isiolo. We shall improve the lives of the people of Isiolo and Northeastern and Eastern by taking our infrastructures and asking companies that want to build up or to move to Isiolo to give them tax rebates, to encourage them to be like Delaware, so that those who are willing to go and build Isiolo, we exempt them from tax for the first 5 years to attract investment. Dubai was built on the sand, but here everybody here wants to stay in Nairobi. We now have jiggers in Nairobi. Nairobi River has been polluted. The soil is compressed. The sewage system is compressed. You find these rich men going to acquire government land and building houses on them. Hizo zote kabla tujanyonga tutang'oa zote ziende chini. Ng'oa yote vitu ya wizi. Ng'oa yote. Na wale ambao wanarukaruka hapa wanasema ati waje niwaambie kwa kitu. Unajua Kenya sometimes we are fallopians. Let me speak like a Luo who never went to university. And fallopians, but the tribe aspect is not here, though I speak the language, but I'm a Kenyan. This issue of branding people, these people selling people that are in projects, imetoka kwa wale ambao mnajua. Sisi as Roots Party, we are very neutral. Hatuna matusi, we are Rastaman. Rastaman never accuses anybody. Hawa sasa wameanza kunichukua na Justina. Huyu yuko Azimio, huyu yuko washindwe kabisa. We are on the ballot, that's what I'm trying to say. And Isiolo people, wherever you are, mahali mupo, Isiolo mupo, tunakuja huko kujenga new capital city, na niruhusu nikiwa rais wenu, hata State House itaenda Isiolo. Parliament will be shifted to Isiolo. State House will be shifted to Isiolo. Administrative buildings zitaenda Isiolo. Hapa will remain as an industrial city. Tuambia watu ya Kiambu ya kwamba you have fed Nairobi, you can as well now do your thing and feed Isiolo. Kweli rongo? Asante. Na iko ingine imebaki. Now, this is where some people go crazy. Everyone wants an identity. If you go to Nigeria, for example, and you go to Ondo State, the number plate ya magari Ondo State ni Ondo 1, Ondo 2. Ukienda Lagos, utaona magari imeandikwa Lagos State, the pride of the state. But in Kenya, we're going to introduce 8 regions for administrative purposes. And we shall have chief ministers in each region. Counties will remain within regions. The federal government will operate from Isiolo, whereby each state will have its own parliament, and each state will have its own counties. We shall no longer have 47 governors. We shall have county officers, and whatever state wants to name them or to conjugate them into what have you, it will be there. So that Tukiwa na Rift Valley, for example, Nakuru will be the capital city of Rift Valley. And then if a county like Narok produces unga ya ngano, wheat, tourism, where all monies are collected by the government, and by the time they go to governors who have become thieves. In fact, I'm going to prosecute the entire, almost all of them. I'm going to ask them why they are joining Azimio. Magavana sa wale ambao tunajua wameiba, wengine wameenda Azimio, wengine wameenda Kenya Kwanza kusimama kama MP ndio wapate wamepeana hao watu pesa ndio wafunike ile uchafu yao. Mnaelewa ama muelewi? Alafu ndio sasa wasimame ile pesa ambayo wameiba ipotelee huko. Hapana. Serikali ya Justina na Wajackoyah tutakunyonga tu. A governor will never hide from 9. Wale magavana ambao wamemaliza 2 terms, you have nowhere to go. You can run, and you can run, but we shall hold you accountable for all the monies. That's why we are proposing 8 regional assemblies, so that people can be accounted to those assemblies. So that when we come now to instrumentalities of commerce, let me speak now like an educated man. When it comes to instruments of commerce, instrumentalities, something owned by the federal government, something owned and paid for by the federal taxes. For example, a highway that is coming from Mombasa, passing through various counties, will be the responsibility of the federal government to maintain. Now, where there's a federal instrument, like a telephone communication wire, which passes from one state to another state, the taxes that are levied on that will be proportionate to what the government has gotten from the state government, whereby we may have 2 sets of taxation. The federal taxation, when you pass through the instrumentalities of commerce, you want to drive your goods from Mombasa to Naivasha, you pass through other counties, then you have to be levied tax to maintain the federal roads that you are driving on, right or wrong. And on top of that also, what I want to say is that there are so many people who have lost their revenue as a result of that Kachuma railway. There are men and women who had infrastructural services, such as transporting functionaries, where we had people with lorries who are transporting goods from the port of Mombasa to the interior of Africa. People had employed almost a workforce of 500,000 tanboys, loaders, whose monopoly was taken away from them and given to SGR. And those people have been made bankrupt. Those people who are employed by them have been made redundant. My government is going to pay all of them. As we inject this railway, before I go to that point to finish, as we remove that Kachuma, we shall have a new modern technology designed by Kenyan engineers in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our instrumentalities like railways and highways, in terms of our airports and waterways, whereby the state of Nakuru, the state government of Nakuru, will have now to find out how communication and transportation will be made easy by building their own airports from the monies and subsidies that we'll be getting from monies generated from counties, and also the federal government. Which means that if you look at the proportionalities of the monies that we talked about, the generating revenue from bank and snake farming, we shall have enough money to take care of everything. We shall no longer be pigeons of anybody. We shall no longer be looking at things. And before I continue, we shall introduce the underground rail system in cities. We shall have people now to decongest, because there will be no borders. Borders will be rich. Because there will be no mamambogas. We want to make transportation system equitable in terms of equity, requiring clean hands as opposed to unclean hands. We shall build the underground systems, and we shall start by demonstrating on projects from Isiolo as a city, as we build cities going up and up. And therefore, the logic behind the creation of 8 states is by having state identity. I come from Kakamega, let me say it like that. We shall have Kakamega, Western state, maybe Kakamega will be the capital, or Busia or Bungoma, and we shall have tags on our licensing motor vehicles made from, like, let me say Kakamega. Najua ni mtu wa Kakamega, ikiwa ni Kiambu 1, ikiwa ni Central, ikiwa Central 1, you'll be proud of your heritage. So that people who are outside can come back in this country and say, we are happy. Instead of having a central government where the president makes it all, takes it all at home, where we have had some Phoebians of insolvency, or Phoebians of immorality, or Phoebians of insolidarity, who come in with things like BBI, so that they can have handshakes to please themselves, to have themselves in power forever, to have their children and wife take over from the poor people. We shall not allow that. In my government, we shall not allow that kind of discrepancy. Point number 9, 10, we shall deport all. Ladies and gentlemen, as I leave, I would like you to pledge one thing. We need peace. We don't need to fight. When we live here, let's live as Rastas. Let's live with order. You saw us in Kakamega. You saw us in Busia. You saw us in Kisumu. Did you hear or did you see any incident where a stone was thrown at us? Because we just appeared. We just appeared, and people follow us. We went to Kirinyaga, we went to Hemp, we have been to reggae clubs, and continue spreading the word. Kenyans have become millionaires because of me. They have made shirts out of me to earn a living. They have made stickers, and the only way you can demonstrate DJ, and my DJs what of course mtakuwa na ministry yenu, is to spread the word the way you are spreading. Ukitengeneza kitu kama vile mama ambaye ametengeneza vikombe na picha yetu ama ya Justina, tengeneza, uza, upate hela, uweke kwa mfuko until bangi yetu ya kwanza itaiva mwaka ujao. Asanteni sana. May God bless you. God bless you.
Sijasikia kelele mzuri ya the film.
Now, wait. My deputy will have something to say. Then it will be closed by the German, the Pope. I thought of the Pope of Ganja, but today we have the Pope man. The Pope man, the spiritual man. Me, I'm the Pope of Ganja, right? Even your Pope of Ganja.
The fifth. Naomba kidogo rais. Iko vijana wanataka wa perform, then we can close. We have wakardinali in the house. Wakardinali, then we can close. Sindio? Wakardinali. Yeah? Fire. Wakardinali. Makofi. So changamsha watu kidogo tukinaanza. Wakardinali. Tumalizie ndio Prof afunge. Asante. Tumalizie ndio Prof afunge.